Hi, everybody. It's Sadie with my friend Shawn, and this is Sadie and Shawn Have No Friends. And before we get started, we want to thank, our friends. I could say that, right, Shawn? I mean, I think the folks at Cristiana Salon Spa, they are our friends.
No, they're not, because then the podcast name wouldn't work. Not our friends. Good
That's
people, not our
true.
friends.
Good people. They're probably a little iffy of us, but we want you to go in there and see them. They're in Johnstown, right next to the Shields. And you could get 10% off just by mentioning this podcast. So before we get started, start thinking about what you want to get done, whether it's hair, nails, or makeup, or whatever.
Massage.
Massage,
Thank you for asking.
facial, waxing. You can do all of that at Cristiana Salon Spa, ChristianaSalonSpa.com. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the newest episode of Sadie and Shawn Have No Friends. Shawn, I don't know if you maybe saw me and you were struck, but I added a little bit of lighting. So I've been looking back and no, you can't tell.
It looks just the same. It still looks like shit. I've told you that since the beginning, and you were like, it's a vibe.
It does not look like shit. It is
It
cool.
looks purple. You look purple. If you want to look like Grimace or Barney, then you look cool.
You know what? You're such an asshole. And so early on, 34 seconds in, and you're being an asshole. It is a vibe, and I don't even care. But what I'm saying is it was getting a little dark, like trollish. And I thought, oh, okay. So I
It's
had a
no
little
lighter.
bit of light.
Your light is not working. It's no lighter. It looks exactly the same as it did yesterday.
No, it didn't. I'll do a side by side.
Okay, please do. And I'm excited to see it. It looks the same. It looks, you know what it looks like? I've never been to one, but if I went to a tarot card reader or one of those ladies who like a witch
like
that has a
Stevie
ball.
Nicks?
Yeah, that's like that with the candles and the purple and the like old school looking frames in the back. That looks like what I would expect if I went to one of those places.
I'm totally okay with that. I like that vibe. You see, that's a vibe, Shawn. That's what that's called. And I'm very comfortable. Am I a witch? Damn, I don't think so. But I look back in my past and maybe I am a witch.
If you are, I no longer can do this podcast because I can't be around witches.
Okay. What did you want to spring on me?
I don't want to spring on you anything. There's a few things that are going around in the news. You can play my little game of picking which one you want to talk about, or maybe we could talk about some of them or all of them if it goes on. But here we go. It says actors who are nightmares to work with, according to on-set workers.
Love that.
Another one says you can live longer simply by becoming more attractive.
Okay.
Our obsession with pumpkin spice is finally waning. And the final one is Chuck E. Cheese has a subscription plan for people who spend way too much time at Chuck E. Cheese.
No, Chuck E. Cheese is just awful.
I didn't even know that Chuck E. Cheeses were still a thing.
You know what? There used to be one in town, and then it closed down, and then we went to Colorado Springs for something, and we were like, well, we've got some time to kill. Let's look, there's a Chuck E. Cheese. Holy crap. Okay. And we went. It was so bad. First of all, the magic is dead. I'm glad it's gone. I'm glad it's dead because it used to be the animatronics would come out and they'd talk and sing, and like half the kids would start crying and shitting their pants, and the other half were like living their best life. And what they ended up doing was it all became digital. Like there was a giant screen, and it was, and I'm like, this is bullshit. The magic was watching these fake animatronics, and they took that away, and then it was just sticky and icky and shit.
Well, it was sticky and icky and shit even when they had the animatronics, because it was I grew up in a town called Greeley, Colorado, and Greeley was too small to have a Chuck E. Cheese. Fort Collins, where you grew up, did have a Chuck E. Cheese, and it had all the animatronics and stuff. And so it was a special occasion. As a matter of fact, one time for my sister's birthday, my dad rented like an RV, and we took a whole bunch of her friends in the RV, and one of them shit her pants, and it was a mess. But anyway, it was like a big thing. We took the RV.
We talked about that on a prior episode. If you just want to go look back.
We took the RV to Fort Collins. We went to Chuck E. Cheese, did the animatronic things. I was older because I'm the oldest, and so my sister was younger, and I still had a blast at my sister's birthday party because Chuck E. Cheese was so cool. But then They opened a Chuck E. Cheese in Greeley, my hometown.
Which I think is
This
still there.
It's still there, but it didn't open until much later. So I was no longer a kid, but I had a kid of my own. And I remember I took Shay, who's now 16, to her first Chuck E. Cheese experience when the Greeley one opened. And it was the first time I walked in, and I was so disappointed because they had the
Mm.
screens. This was probably 10
Yes.
or 12 years ago. She was just a little thing. And I walked in expecting the animatronics and for her to meet Chucky and
Or
the
be
pizza
scared of the
guy. That
gorilla playing a
yeah,
piano
yes,
solo or
there
the
was the white
saxophone
bird.
chicken.
Yeah. There's so many great memories, and I walk in and they didn't have any of it. It was all a screen, and we never went back. That was the last time. Like, I'm not exposing my kids to a knockoff Chuck E. Cheese. It sucks.
It sucks so bad. It makes me sad. I knew it was going downhill even before when it turned from Showbiz Pizza to Chuck E. Cheese. When it was the OG, they didn't care if they scared the children. There was some funky 70s shit going on at the Showbiz Pizza. And then it became a little bit corporate, but we all bought it. Okay, a rat took over the joint, and that's the new mascot. Whatever. As long as you got that live animatronic band and the salad bar is subpar, we'll still show up. And then they did the screen thing. And yeah, I was like, you're dead to me. You're
That's where
dead
they
to
lost it.
me.
That's why they have to have a subscription service now, because no one goes anymore. I feel like if they still had the 70s animatronics, I'd still be going, and there's got to be other people like me that would still be going, and they wouldn't have to have a subscription service. They'd be doing better. Bad idea. Technology is not always good. And they made a movie recently, I think, that kind of killed off the animatronics for anybody. I don't even know what the movie was called. I didn't
Oh,
see
I
it.
think it's Five Nights at Freddy's. And I
Yes.
don't know because I didn't watch let me just I didn't watch Five Nights at Freddy's, but I know what you're talking about. Is that a
It's
scary
basically like Chuck
show?
E. Cheese, and yeah, it's not, they couldn't use the Chuck E. Cheese characters because there's probably copyrights, but it's about a Chuck E. Cheese like place where they have animatronics, and the animatronics come to life and they murder you.
Ooh, that kind of sounds a little dorkish.
Yeah, it didn't do very well in the theaters, I don't believe so.
But I think that, not to be like a downer or anything, but I think that's one instance of childhood being way better when we were younger. I feel like kids are getting totally boned. First of all, ball pits are gone. As an adult, I'm happy for that because as
They're
a
not.
kid, I remember eating French fries out of the ball pit that were a little too crunchy, but I didn't give a shit because I didn't know what germs were. And you're saying they're not. Where is there a ball pit?
There's a mall. There's a mall we went to that it's a little dilapidated mall in Colorado Springs, and we went to it recently. And inside of this mall, there's this place where for $5 an hour, kids like Boone can go run around and they can play. And it's just basically a giant ball pit. It's basically just this giant jungle gym, and it's stinky and it's old school and it's perfect. And I feel like it's building up his immune system so he's not a little bitch like the rest of his kindergarten buddies.
You can only hope. No, okay, so most places, other than the dilapidated place in the town you live in, most places they had to get rid of them because there was no way to clean that area. How often do you think McDonald's workers are climbing up in the tubes at night and using Clorox bleach? Never, you guys, never. But that was the magic of being a kid. I also
I do
remember.
believe ball pits were probably the reason that kids our age were not as sick as kids in this generation. Like, these little booger pickers are always sick these days, and it's because there's no ball pits anymore. That's the simple answer.
It's like a total give and take because I'm so excited that school is about to start. But then on the flip side, I'm like, stomach flu countdown in
Yep.
5, 4.
Within the next 2 weeks, one of us
Yeah,
will have to bow out of this show because our kids are going to bring home something.
that's
It's
right.
almost a guarantee, and that wasn't always the case. I feel like immune
No.
systems used to be. I believe, I don't know for sure, but I believe I missed, in the time that I was in kindergarten until I graduated high school, I missed 2 days of school for being sick the whole time. I missed a lot more because I ditched when I was a junior and senior. Don't tell my
Right.
dad, but like being sick 2 days. My kids miss 2 days a month these days.
It's so true. But our parents also, I mean, like, my parents like had to work. There was no one there to watch
Yeah,
us. So it was like, all right, well, wipe that parf off your face and get on the bus, bitch. And like you just hope you made it through the day without vomiting everywhere
I
because
do
that was
remember
just
one
how it
time.
had to be.
It was middle school, and thank goodness my middle school had each classroom had its own bathroom, and
Okay.
I've
Oh,
never seen that
fancy.
since, but my middle school, each classroom had a bathroom, and thank goodness because I was sitting in math class sometime in middle school. I had told my parents, just like you were talking about, "I don't feel good." They're like, "Too bad you're going to school. We gotta work. Like, fight through it." And I told them sitting in math class, had to puke, had to puke, had to puke. And I was like, I'm going to puke. I'm going to puke. I'm going to puke. I asked the teacher if I could use the bathroom, and we could never use the bathroom in the classrooms unless it was a designated time. So she told me no. And so I was like,
I
I'm
would have
going to
been
lose it
like,
on my desk. I'm going to
oh,
lose it on my
that.
desk. I didn't want to tell her in front of the whole class, like, I'm going to puke. And so finally, luckily, because I was a pretty good kid. I didn't ever break the rules at that age. And so it's like, screw it. I got to break the rules. She told me no, but I got to go to the bathroom. And so I got up and I barely made it, ran into the bathroom, puked all over the back of the toilet because I couldn't even make it in. But
Good
I did
kind
it.
of.
And I told my dad, I was like, dude, I told you I was sick and you made me go to school. And now I puked all over the back of the toilet. And some janitor had to clean up my Pop Tarts all over the back of the toilet. And
I
that's
just
sad
think
for
that's
them.
sad that there was like designated bathroom times. Like, I don't ever remember there being like a designated bathroom time. And then it was like lock and key, baby. I hope you don't have to go because you're screwed. That's like really intense. The school sounds pretty intense.
They
Sean,
can
was it a
never do that in
boarding
this day.
school?
You'd get well, no, it was just a normal public high or middle school, but you would probably get canceled in this day and age for not letting kids go to the bathroom when they say they needed to.
Totally.
But back then, and I get it because I do this youth group thing on Wednesday nights that I talk to you about all the time. And these are middle school boys, and every single one of them, even the ones that are like super hyper focused, we get 30 minutes in this small little group that I host. Every single one of them will go to the bathroom during that 30 minutes if I let them. And it's not to go to the bathroom, it's to jack around and socialize. And that's what middle schoolers do, especially middle school
Yeah.
boys. So I agree with like go before class because you know that during math class you're learning algebra and you're not going to go jack around in the bathroom.
Yeah, but again, in this day and age, you can't tell kids they can't go to the bathroom. Are you insane?
You
You
can't
would
now, but they did then, and no one
No, they
said anything
totally
about
did
it.
then.
Thank goodness they
Yeah.
didn't lock the doors though, because I would have puked all over the bathroom door, and that
I
would have been
also
embarrassing.
I also have such fond memories of like playgrounds that are so different now. Everything in our neighborhood, they just built like a splash pad playground. Everything is so soft and new and cushy. And I mean, I ate shit so many times on gravel. I mean, it was like we were torn the hell up. You would go to the park and the slide would be 12 million degrees. You'd have welts. And you know what? Our parents were like, "Oh, look at that. You got some welts on them. We'll put some Vaseline on there." I think they thought that cured everything. But what I'm saying is now it's not that way. But there is still an old school park in the town that we live in. And I take Murphy sometimes, and it is like, she's like, ow, my legs. And I'm like, welcome to my childhood.
It
I don't
actually
really say that.
it was a little bit of reminiscing for me because my sister had a birthday party for her kid, so my niece recently, and it was in the park that we grew up in. We went to all the time, and I expected to show up at this park and it would be revamped and it would have that soft stuff and all the
Yeah.
and no, it had all the same stuff from 1995 when I was playing in that park, and I thought it was so cool. Like I was doing the monkey bars. I was on those little like ducks that you can ride that are on a spring.
I know.
37-year-old me's out there riding those things that probably looked like I was humping a duck, and I did.
Hey guys, it's Sadie and Shawn, and we just want to thank our show sponsor. We are so excited to be working with Garage Door Service and Sales because Shawn and I have known Patrice, the owner, for like decades. Has it been
Decades.
decades?
I
Yeah, it's
miss one of the things I miss most about radio was getting to hang out and party with Patrice. She's one of my favorite people ever, and that's why you should buy a garage door from her is because she's amazing. Not care. It was so cool. It just took me back to my childhood. I thought it was neat.
I love that. Okay, what were the ideas? Because then we just went off there. per
Yeah, the
usual.
one that
But
you said no to is the one that we ended up
I
talking
know,
about,
like
which is funny,
let's tell me the other ones again.
well, I will in a second, but like along the lines of 50 Nights at Freddy's or whatever that movie was that you said bombed.
Yeah.
I saw this too, and it was interesting because we both love Kevin Costner, and he had that movie
Yeah.
Horizon that was blowing, like they blew it up all over the place for a year or two because Kevin Costner's so busy with Horizon, he doesn't have time for Yellowstone, and it has to be awesome, right? Because he's quitting Yellowstone for this movie, and then it bombed, and so he's finally responded. And it's a very Kevin Costner way, in
Oh.
my opinion, because I think this dude is like, I think he's a dick swinger. I think he's an egomaniac. And I
Oh,
love him. Don't get
I'm
me
like,
wrong.
what I don't know what dick swinger means. Now it makes complete sense, but I'm like, what, is he gay? He's gay?
No,
Oh
he's
my
not
god.
gay. He likes young
Okay.
women. We know that too.
He's gonna push a button on me, and then I'm gonna lose control and kill you.
He I just think that he's Kevin Costner. He was in Field of Dreams. Like he
He has nothing
knows
to prove
yeah, he
anymore.
knows what he's worth, and he's going to make sure that you know what he's worth too. And he's just he has an ego, and whether or not he deserves it or not, who knows? But he has one, and so this is a very Kevin Costner thing to say about a movie that completely bombed. He says, "quote I know that this movie is going to play for the next 50 years. I'm really proud of it."
And that's it.
Yeah. You would think that it would be like something along the lines of, dang, I expected it to do better. I thought that
Yeah, but I
it
mean
was really well
that's
written and the actors were great. Instead, he was like, no, it's great. People are going to watch it for the next 50 years, even though they're not watching it right now. In 49 years, they're going to watch a movie that no one watched now when it came out. Nope, you're wrong, dude. Good try. But you keep telling yourself that.
I can't wait. I just one day want to be in a room with the two of you, and I'll be like, Shawn, tell Kevin what you were telling me earlier about that movie. And you'll be like, what? And I'll be like, about how no one wants to watch it now. So why the fuck would anyone want to watch it 50 years
Just
down
being
the
a
road?
realist, Kevin.
But
Just being a realist.
that's not true, because there are a lot of movies that did not do well when they came out and then became like a cult classic. And so I say good for him for standing by his project.
Yeah, that's why he's not putting out the second one like he said he was going to do.
But
Put
I
your
bet
money
that
where your mouth is. He don't want to lose millions more dollars, so he ain't going to do the second one.
Don't do it. Don't be a J-Lo. Don't be a J-Lo, Kevin.
You know what else Kevin Costner sucks at?
When did we get on the Kevin Costner sex train? Because I like Kevin Costner.
I
Go
do
ahead.
too. I really do. I love Field of Dreams and I love Yellowstone.
Okay.
His
Well, what
music
else does he
sucks.
suck at?
One time I saw him, he opened for somebody at Cheyenne Frontier Days. It's Kevin Costner and what's his band called? I don't even know if he does it anymore. It's like Due West or Go West, Kevin Costner and something West. Anyway, I showed up and I was like, this is going to be so cool. He's opening for somebody at Cheyenne Frontier Days.
Yeah.
Kevin
I
Costner right
remember
there on
that.
stage in front of me, and the music sucks.
Memories ever cutting me loose, 'cause my heart won't.
If I had a friend who had a yacht and just had billions of dollars and was like, do you want to go on my yacht? Okay, I'm going to tell you, you sing like a bluebird. Can you sing that song again as I'm sipping my drink? And like that's the problem, is these people are built so much into their mind that they're good and they're not. And that's okay. But no one has the cojones to be like, Kevin, oh my God, just continue, being on Yellowstone or doing other movies, but just jump out of that. And I had a thing with Billy Bob Thornton where I was supposed to interview him, and they were like, you can only ask him about his music. I don't know anything about your music, Billy Bob. I want to know, did you drink Angelina's blood and have sex in the limo before the Oscars in 1996? I mean, I just want to ask these questions, and instead, so I turned it down. I'm like, I don't know what to say. Like, you wrote the song, huh? Like, let's talk about
Cool
that.
story, bro.
I hate you. Being with you is like being
This was
with
supposed to be about Kevin Costner, and it became about Sadie and why she doesn't want to interview Billy Bob Thornton.
Shut the fuck up. Go to the next one.
All right, here.
God.
All right. Since we're on this subject, I'm not even going to let you pick anymore. I'm just going to, because this
Well,
one
I
goes
don't know,
along
'cause
with what
one
we're
sounded
talking about.
really good.
This one was one of the options, but I'm going to make it the option because we're on this subject. It's
Yeah,
actors
but a
who are
lot
nightmares
that's
to
the
work with, according to
problem is these
on-set
people become
workers.
so
So these are
famous.
people over Reddit
I don't wanna
who are
keep going
sharing their
back to
negative
J-Lo, but
experiences
people are
working
like,
with famous
"Yeah,
actors.
you can
And they're
sing."
in no particular order,
Can
but
I
here we
guess?
go.
Can I guess?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
gonna
So
just
there's
throw
10
out
of
my
them.
guesses.
There's 10 of them on this list. You get 2 guesses, and I'll tell you if your guess is on the list.
I will make you a bet right now. I will get 6 out of the 10. And if I get 6 out of the 10,
You
I
get
want
2
you.
strikes. So if you miss,
That's
then you're
fine.
done. Okay, ready? And
Wait,
what's the
no, no,
bet?
no, no, we haven't made the bet.
$100?
No, I get to shave one of your eyebrows.
Nope. Out. I'm working on this new look that I got going on with my mullet and my mustache, and it doesn't work with no eyebrow.
Well, just one eyebrow. You could draw it on.
It doesn't work. Nope. That's no bet.
Okay, well, it's a bet. Okay, so I'm gonna go number 1. There's got to be a J-Lo on the list.
She's not on the list. Strike 1.
Then this list is bullshit.
Okay.
Number 2, I'm gonna say Alec Baldwin.
All right, you're done.
Oh my God.
Here they
what?
are.
Your list is stupid.
It's a list from BuzzFeed/Reddit. Here we go. Steven Seagal is on the list.
He's not a star.
The person who wrote about Steven Seagal said grade A D-bag. James Corden is on the list. He won't talk to anyone except the most senior crew. He thinks he's above everyone.
Damn it, I knew that one.
It's all those late night guys. I feel like Jimmy Fallon is probably he's not on the list.
I think he's cool. It's the Corden guy that they say is just a mega dick.
Are British people dicks? Because he's like
I don't think all of them are, Shawn. I don't want to just loop them all in, but I don't think they're all dicks.
Sometimes
Victoria
culture
Beckham seems. Oh, Paul McCartney is wonderful. Okay, continue.
You met him?
No, but I just have it. I feel it in my soul. So move on.
All right. Tyra Banks, it says legitimately will fire some people if they look her in the eye when passing in the hallway.
Now, here's where you're wrong. You're so wrong. And this list is so stupid.
These
keep
aren't saying it's me. Tyra Banks is a celebrity. I know nothing about pop culture. If I know who they are, they're a celebrity.
Shawn, but you only know people from 1999 up until like a few. You don't know what's going on.
Okay, I didn't. It doesn't say current celebrities. It says celebrities.
Whatever. Go ahead.
I don't know this guy. I've heard the name, but I don't know him. I couldn't tell you one thing that he does. Michael Cera.
Oh, Michael Cera.
Cera, C-E-R-A.
This is dumb.
Who is that? I really don't know who that is.
Well, I only know him because I love this show. It's called Arrested Development. So good. If you've never watched it, it's on Netflix. Arrested Development. That's how I know. But he was on what was that movie where where they're kids and they're trying to, and McLovin, they're trying to get a fake ID.
Oh yeah,
but
I like that movie.
He's not McLovin. He's another. I'll send you a picture. Michael Cera, C-E-R-A.
He's Canadian, so none of these people are American.
I will give you, after this stupid list, the real list.
Superbad is the name of that movie.
Yes. Okay.
I do like that movie. 6, never even heard of. Chris Pine.
Oh, okay. I'm going to tell you who that is. I have to go into Shawn, what Shawn would know. So he is in the newest Star Trek. He plays the main guy. No, the movie. Remember when a few years ago the Star Trek movie was rebooted and everyone was like, whoa. He plays Captain Kirk. No. You don't know shit, Shawn. Stop it. Hey, next
all right.
one.
Enough about Chris Pine. Number 5 is a legitimate celebrity. I feel like we can all agree. It's Russell Crowe. It says super arrogant and self-important.
Yeah, I could see that. I'm going to get a pen to write my list too.
Yeah, you keep doing that. Number 4. I don't know why they put these two together, but they did. And it kind of makes me sad because I like this guy. He's one of the guys on this list that I actually like. Ben Stiller and John Cusack. Very entitled, exactly what you'd expect from them. I didn't expect Ben Stiller to be a dick, honestly, and that's what it says. I should expect.
I get a feeling he is a dick. I get strong dickish vibes from that guy, and I don't know why. And does it bother me? Yeah, it does. But what are you going to do? I mean, I get that. What's
all right?
next?
Number 3 is Scarlett Johansson. Very high maintenance, demanding things left and right.
Okay.
Number 2, Dr. Phil. He has no eye. He has a no eye contact rule. One of the nastiest, most self-absorbed people I've ever met.
Okay. My list is getting good. My
Hold
list is
on.
getting good.
So
Dr. Phil. I love Dr. Phil.
I never met Dr. Phil, but I became early in my career, was actually the first person I met that I felt like I had a friend that was somewhat famous. You wouldn't know who he is other than the fact that he's Dr. Phil's son. He was in a rock band.
Is his name Jordan?
Yeah, he got famous because he left
who Dr.
rock.
Phil's kids are.
Well, he at the time though, he wasn't famous. He was in a rock band, like a heavy metal band. And now he's a pop singer and got more famous because he's a pop singer. He was open for famous people. But back then, no one knew who he was. They were playing these little clubs, and I was working on a rock station, and we just took a liking to each other. We were like legitimate friends. And I knew that he was Dr. Phil's son, but I always felt that I could never talk about Dr. Phil.
That's all I would talk about.
I know, but I didn't because I felt like it was going to be a lifelong friendship. And then I left the rock station and we never contacted each other again. I could pass him on the street tomorrow. He wouldn't know who I was. And I should have shot my shot and got all the dirt on his dad back when I could have. I didn't. All right. Number 1 on the list, Blake Lively, most entitled, snobbiest, and rudest person to deal with through tantrums.
Okay. That's something we need to discuss. I know you're so excited.
Throwing tantrums.
So was that the final one of your list?
Yeah,
that was a dumb list. Steven
Quit
Seagal.
saying that it was my list. This is just a list I found that I shared with you. It's not my list. I didn't even know who half the people on the list are. I know who Blake Lively is, but I couldn't tell you one thing that she's done.
Okay. Are you ready for my list?
Do you want to comment on Blake Lively? That was number 1. She's the meanest, rudest
I have to
celebrity.
tell you, she's on my list as well, which if you would have told me that
cheating.
No, I'm not. If you would have told me that a few years ago, I would have been like, no way, she's adorable. And Ryan Reynolds is adorable. It's kind of starting to trickle out more and more and more and more that they're kind of dickheads. And I've read more and more about it. And I think, like waiters that are coming forward. And you know what really gets me is, of course, there are people who are going to be like, oh yeah, I met them and they were a jerk. Well, who are you? But when you see like video and stuff, and I've seen a couple videos where, I don't know, like you got to be nice to the staff, folks. Don't care who you are or how much you have. You got to be kind to the people who are working for you. And I don't know. They're on my list.
Well, see, I'm always afraid of these lists where like it's singers who are dicks or celebrities who are dicks, because we've talked about this, but they live a different life than we do. And it's a hard life in the sense that there's always somebody who wants something from you, whether it be a selfie or an autograph, or maybe it's your time or to talk to you. There's just always someone in your face. And so sometimes you have to say no because you have to move on. You have to go to the next place that you need to be at. And a lot of people take me saying, no, dude, I don't have time for a selfie with you. I'm sorry. And walking as a dick move. And it's not always a dick move.
Not at all. Absolutely not. Can I also tell you something that you will know? I mean, do I even tell you this? Blake Lively just came out with a movie. It's called It Ends With Us. And it's a story about a woman who has dealing with domestic violence. Okay. So pretty heavy topic. And a lot of women suffer from that. A lot of women die from that. And just people are starting to come back and be like, she's kind of acting like it's a fashion show. She released like a hair care line based on it. And it's like, have we forgotten that this is a movie that's supposed to be like teaching you about here are the signs of domestic abuse, and instead it's like fashion show. She wore like Britney Spears dress on the red carpet and that's all she talked about. And I don't know, I found it kind of vapid. And then the two together, I don't know. You can only go so far up as a celebrity before people start thinking you're getting annoying. And I'm afraid we're getting to that point.
All right. Well, you want to share your list real fast. Now, let's preface Sadie's list by saying she's met none of these people, and this is not a fair list whatsoever because she's just being prejudgy and she has no idea if these people really are dicks. But go ahead and share it anyway.
Shawn, I appreciate that. Here's my list. First of all, like I said, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, they're on my list as well. It's a sneaking suspicion. Keep your eyes on it, folks. You're going to start seeing it more and more. I don't know how Ellen wasn't on your list. I know
everyone knows.
No, well, first of all, you gave the list of the most hated or shitty celebrities.
No. This is just actors who are nightmares to work with from on-set workers, it says. And I think Ellen, we don't need to put her on the list. We already know. And she doesn't work in show business anymore. She was such a dick. She got booted out of show business.
So you're going to say that I'm not even allowed to have that one.
You can have Ellen on your list. That's fine. Your list is your list and you put whoever you want. I just think that it's an unspoken nightmare to work with. Like we all know.
Yeah, I'm gonna just really quickly just graze over J-Lo. She just seems fucking awful. And so I'm just gonna, because we talk about her way more than we should on this podcast. What about this one? I'm going Alec Baldwin. That guy just has a stench of assholery around him. Again, I've never met him, but I just have it. I have a feeling in my soul that I wouldn't like him at all. And isn't that strange? What if I did meet him and we did become friends? But that's impossible because he seems like an asshole. Next on my list, I was just reading an article about Howard Stern. And they were talking about how they used to work in the Sirius XM building, which is where I think he still records out of. I know during COVID, he like he wouldn't leave his house. I love Howard Stern, but there's somebody who was working in the Sirius XM office recently, within like the past week, put out a video on TikTok saying, this is what we have to do every morning working with Howard Stern. And it was through a crack in the door. When he comes in the building, everyone is to go into their office, close the door. It has to be a completely empty hallway. And then, it shows he comes in, he goes around the corner, and everyone is then allowed to come out of their office. And they're like, this is what it is. He doesn't want eye contact. He doesn't want. Also, I will tell you that I visited Los Angeles and I went to
a celebrity's house and they didn't want you there, so you're going to call him a dick
so
because you
killed
came up
me.
stalking
Shawn,
them?
why are you so angry? God dang.
Go ahead.
Face the truth. Shut up.
Go ahead.
See, now I kind of forgot. Oh, I went to Los Angeles and I was talking to this guy because I went to this late night show and I was talking to this guy who works in the same building as David Letterman. And he's like, oh my God, he's a tyrant. He's a tyrant.
Late night guy. It's these talk show guys. I don't know what it is about them, but they're
wrong. They're bad.
I told you, like, there's something about them. There's something about them that they're
Is there a celebrity that you just feel within your heart and soul you just would not like?
Well, I've been told many, 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 many times working in the music industry that a lot of the pop stars are dicks. There's one that you always hear is like the biggest dick. Again, I haven't had an experience with this guy. I don't know. I'm not speaking from my own experience. I'm speaking from rumors, but that is Justin Bieber.
Oh, God, that's not shocking. I mean, that poor kid is so jaded. The stuff he had to see. I mean, I think he was in those Diddy parties I read. That poor thing.
Poor guy. Yeah.
He was like fed to the wolves at a very young age. So I don't think that makes me very sad, Shawn. How dare you?
I'm sad about the life that Justin Bieber's lived too. Didn't he like hang out with R. Kelly when R. Kelly was a weirdo too?
No, it was P. Diddy. R.
Yeah,
Kelly
but you don't hang out with one of the rappers. You hang out with some of the rappers. Maybe he hung out with Diddy, and then he also hung out with
R. Kelly. We're just kind of putting this together on our own. We know none of these things. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode, and we will be back tomorrow when I post the episode. That's when we'll talk again.